I just want to talk about what I've learned from my experiences, just dealing with people, okay? And people in environments, people overall, okay? And going through those things, overcoming those things, weathering through whatever storms were generated by crossing paths with particular people or groups, and what I've learned about myself that's undeniable, what I know about myself that's undeniable, and how I've learned to protect myself, okay, from people, okay, or any avenue where a demonic energy can make an attempt to access my energy field or implant anything into my energy field. And what so where I'm at with it so far is the moment, with my gifts, I pick up on and identify something's off. Okay, I'm detecting some sketchy energy, whether that be envy, jealousy, ulterior motives, whether that energy be attached to somebody that I'm connected with, or whether it's being projected or focused upon me. If I identify that energy with my gifts, saying when I have the dreams, okay, when I talk about it with that person, okay, with those people, with the boss, with the manager, whomever, if I talk about it and then I, give space to see, basically waiting for necessary change or for positive change to be implemented to ensure balance and harmony in the situation, to make sure that things are fair, things are balanced, things are just, things are harmonious. I'm at a place where the moment I realize that the person that I'm communicating, like the person who actually would have more capability and be able to move more weight in a situation to create that balance, if I recognize that they're not taking any action to do that, if there's this energy lingering of confusion, a lack of clarity, um, deception, anything of that degree, that means that it's time for me to move forward. Um, I'm really not into sticking around any longer than that. Um, so yeah, I feel like any relationship, any connection, any dynamic, any environment where there's obvious confusion, or I don't feel like I'm getting clarity, or I have clarity in a situation, or I'm unable to gain clarity by means of straightforward communication. Like, hey, this is how I feel, or this is how this made me feel, or this is how what you did, what you said, or what they did, what they said made me feel. If there's no action taken to create balance, it's not even a matter of, oh, um, choosing sides or anything. It's about what's right in the situation. I don't care about the history. I don't care if that person has known the other person longer than me. Personally, I just feel like if you claim you want access to me, or you want to experience the privilege of who I am as a person, okay, if you are not willing to create an environment that's safe for, that's safe in the name of justice and righteousness. Now, of course, obviously, as I've learned and as we've learned with dealing with people, of course, there's going to be people who are intentionally going to go against the harmony, who's intentionally going to go against peace in a situation. Okay, they're going to opt into creating chaos, conflict, discord. There's demonic energy present amongst us, so of course it's going to be in opposition to divine energy. But what I am saying is that If I try to talk things out with you, right? If I try to reason with you and I can tell, or you're giving me that you're intentionally like in this rebuttal energy, or like you're intentionally rejecting my efforts to create security, safety, fairness, balance, understanding, overstanding, understanding, clarity. If I detect that you are more so on the side of sowing confusion in the situation, or keeping things in balance because for whatever reason you feel like it's more beneficial for you at my expense, then I'm departing. I'm detaching. I'm going to do everything in my power to disconnect. And I'm doing that now sooner than later so that it doesn't take me as long to heal from the situation. I recently made a post and I said, yo, I definitely have like relationship and friendship PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay. Like, or that post-trauma, post meaning after something has happened. I definitely, do have this resistance, or like this, first of all, just experiencing myself, being a friend to myself, being best friends with God, and then being friends with other people, or being in friendship situations where those friends became enemies, right? Don't you know that some experiences can be so extreme, and some experiences, there's an end goal by whatever demonic attachments are attached to that person for you to become an enemy to yourself, for you to become an enemy to God. You know, how some people, they get in those spells where they begin to question God or curse God because of unfortunate things happening, or somebody hurting them, betraying them, losing something, whatever. I feel like ultimately that's the goal by demonic energy, is to try and turn you away from God, or people who can easily be like manipulated, or like in this malleable, like people who are flimsy with their loyalty, people who are flimsy with their reliability. They're indecisive about whether they want to be a good person or not. Okay, or they're willing to change depending on what's being offered on the table. Okay, whether that be a certain price, whether that be what somebody look like, whether that be a certain status, or whatever they feel, is most beneficial for them in the situation, they will be willing to I'm grateful nonetheless. And I'm grateful to even be somebody, who's designed the way that I am, where I am courageous and I am open enough. I am solid within myself enough to talk about these things, openly, whether that be on social media or one-on-one, like in person. I'm grateful to have the type of mind that can be edified, the mind that can be teachable from my experiences, the experiences of others, and God can minister to me directly through these situations, because it takes a lot of strength. Like, I'm fair, balanced, very conscious of balance, and I'm wise enough to know there's a time and a season for everything. And For whatever reason, I'm thinking about when Yeshua went, into the desert and fasted from people, places, things, food, everything. And how he was tempted when he was fasting. But for me, I'm not willing to give access where I feel like there's some confusion, or I feel like I have to question whether I'm safe with you, or I have to question your motive not to work out for me. I'm at a place where I don't care if you're family. I don't care if, when we were friends, things seemed amazing, for a short time. I don't care what the dynamic is. I feel like if I try to talk with you, right? If I confront the matter and you're not, you just give me weird vibes, I'd rather just stay to myself. I'd rather block you out of my life. I'd rather close the door and only leave the door open for people who are clear with me. Because I'm a very clear person with others. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if it's too confusing, if I gotta do too much to try to figure out your motives, your intention, what's going on, like if you're being weird, if you're not being straightforward, if you're not being forthright, you don't deserve to have access to somebody who is, right? If I can be forthright with the truth and you're not, you don't deserve to have access to me. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care if that's how you grew up, if that's your personality, if that's what you're used to, if that's what you're accustomed to, if the people around you are like that, then you need to stick with those people around you who are like that, who are deceptive, who are, elusive, or who are weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, or their intentions is questionable, like, are in question. Like, you're not my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I feel about that. And I feel like it's too much of a risk to allow access to your energy to somebody who is hot and cold all the time, right? Somebody who, when you're talking to them, you got to question something that they said or the way that they said it, or something goes off in your mind, like, what do they mean by that? I feel like there's only but so many times for somebody to like move like that or create those type of reactions or moments for me where I have to question their intentions until I finally just be like, you know what? I think it's just best for me not to deal with this at all. And that's the energy that I'm in. I feel like, well, I know I can trust me. So I just rather, I just feel better, what I'm saying, like being in this or creating this very solid, strong foundation within myself and God and my spirit team. Like, and always having that first and always, like just prioritizing that so that any moment as I'm just floating through life, connecting with people, meeting people, any moment, something shifts with that person, it's not able to wound me in the way that previous connections have been able to wound me. And so this most recent situation, which is not even recent anymore, but technically it still is because it still hurts. I feel like that definitely kind of solidified me feeling this way or moving this way, like with people. I know that there is even intentions and for me to just shut myself off to the world, and I'm definitely not gonna do that because I have a purpose. I'm on a mission here. So I understand the bigger picture. You get what I'm saying? Clearly, it's a part of my career path, to be like that frequency of love and truth and authenticity, and be available for others, in divine timing and divine order. So that's just something that's inevitable about me, inevitable about, the making of me by the divine. That's just simply how God molded me. But I'm saying, in order to preserve those things about me, so that I can show up for others who like really deserve me, who really deserve little trinkets and to experience my energy, that's how I'm choosing to move forward. So yeah, if it's not like because in okay, or keeping something hidden, there's also those of us who we take joy and responsibility in protecting like the sacred, innocent, pure parts of a person, and telling them the truth, like being truthful with them, showing up truthfully with them. You know what I'm saying? Loving truthfully, like being present, honestly, with people. So you have to understand, like, God, it's almost like how with food in restaurants, right? It seems like there are a surmountable amount of options of places you can eat, or things that you can eat that are not healthy for you. Well, even though there may be illusions casted, around scarcity of healthier options and, whatever, at the end of the day, in the beginning was the, it may take, you may have to be a little more, and I feel like certain limitations, right? Discipline, like, it kind of assists in you being a disciplined person overall. Even if there's certain like goals and fitness goals that you want to obtain, it requires a certain level of discipline. Like, you can't be doing any and everything, eating any and everything, you know what I'm saying, that people would do. And I'm not saying that you can't, because you can, but we get to see, the results, the outcome, of how that can go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like that energy of people who will be like a bodybuilder and they'll drop dead, or somebody that's an athlete and they'll drop dead out of nowhere because of certain lifestyle habits. Okay, it can even be like recreational, it can be energetic, it can be the people they associate themselves with. Okay, because that's all of that matters, right? We're supposed to be disciplined and responsible and intelligent when it comes to all manner of our existences, just the physical, not just the flesh, but also energy, also emotionally, psychologically. Like, we should, we should be responsible in all of that, right? And so I feel like that's what's responsible personally for me. I'm just sharing how I feel, okay, for myself and what works for me. I'm not saying that anybody else should do it, but I'm sharing it because, I'm aware that things that I experience, none of it is in vain. And the way that I'm able to process and communicate my processing of all of this, my analysis, I know that it's been helpful to people in the past, and it will be helpful to people in the present and the future. So this is why I'm sharing this with y'all. I just feel like that's what works for me. I'd rather people be very clear and upfront with me. Even if there's a monkey wrench like thrown, okay, out of nowhere, I prefer people be approachable when it comes to all kind of dynamics of emotional matters. Approachable and honest, right? As well as, whether that be psychological or energy. Like, if the energy feels off, I would prefer to have connections and be in environments where we can openly address those things, and it doesn't become a battle. It doesn't become a war. It doesn't become this weird, underhanded, petty dispute. Okay, like, that's what I desire for myself. That's what I desire. And I feel like that's just one of the best ways I can protect my heart, and protect my mind. Preserve and protect and secure myself and remain secure. Yeah. And I feel like even with that, right, wherever there is confusion, and deception, or something's off, like you feel it in your gut, you feel it, like you just feel it, right? You're having dreams and stuff, and you may bring it to the person who's in a dream, and they're just adding more like illusion rather than trying to reason or get to the bottom of it, which is the whole intent of you bringing that dream or that vision or that inkling to them, is so that you guys can kind of get to the bottom of where this energy is coming from, and find some resolve, okay, in a situation. If they are not doing that, that means, okay, I have to do better with accepting that and moving quicker with understanding, well, I can just go get this clarity from God. I can get this clarity from myself and my own gifts, like I've always had. And it's enough. Like, I feel like the fact that they refuse to be honest, the fact that they refuse to, help gather clarity in a situation, to affirm your discernment, to affirm your gifts, the fact that they're willing to do that in the first place, I feel like that's enough. Like, that's a betrayal within itself. And so if I stick around or allow this person to continue having access in my life, I can't really be upset with what happens from then on. Like, well, no, I can be upset, but I can't really be shocked or surprised. You get what I'm saying? Like, if more chaos unfolds, if more betrayal unfolds, if more deception that is hurtful unfolds, I feel like that should be expected. But hey, you live and you learn, right? You live and you learn. You live and you learn. So, all I can really think about is, man, I'm so ready to, like, completely get out of this. Like, completely recover 100% and be where I feel I'm at my 100% and beyond. Like, I'm so ready to fully recover and no longer put myself in a position with nobody, family, friends, people, or this repeat karmic cycles with family, repeat karmic cycles with somebody I care for and love, whatever, like, or being blinded or being too gullible or naive to first impressions. I feel like first impressions is not enough to determine who that person is, who they will be to you, you know, how things will evolve over time. First impressions is not enough. Okay, we can consider that first impression like the first few months. Hell, the first year. Hell, like, I don't know. I don't know. But again, those things can be avoidable, right? Like, if we identify that somebody is like, yo, like, okay, this person is not really sure about themselves, this person is not really reliable, this person is inconsistent, I feel like the moment we notice that about these people, we should move accordingly. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we should make room for people who are, okay, and stop staying in places longer than we're supposed to, or longer than we have to, because I feel like that's what makes the pain even more deep. That's what makes the pain more severe, right? Yeah, for sure. So yeah. I don't know what God has up his sleeves, but what I can definitely say for me, I definitely don't intend on getting serious with anybody until God literally just, boom, like makes it extremely obvious that it's time to do that. I don't intend on doing that ever again with anybody on any level. And I want to be very clear when I say that, because I am open to people who are genuine and sincere and pure-hearted and stuff like that. Like, absolutely. Still in that energy of exchanging love, of giving, where there's, you know, reciprocal vibes and gratitude and appreciation, you know, but that's only what I'm open to. I'm only open to giving where I'm appreciated, where my energy is cherished, where my energy is honored and it's mutual. I'm only open to that and nothing more, nothing less. Like, that's the only thing I'm open and available to. In the minute it shifts in a negative, toxic, or low vibrational manner, I'm withdrawing my energy. I'm shutting the door. I'm closing off. And I'm gonna do, like, especially right now, because right now, I mean, what's done is done. It is what it is. Like, I'm recovering from a situation where I spent way too much time than I was supposed to, and it hurts, and it's taken a while to fully recover, and I don't have any shame in that. You know what I'm saying? But shit, I did that shit to myself. I did that shit to myself. You feel me? I chose to be patient when motherfuckers started being weird, and then will pop up and then love bomb you, and then be weird again, and then love bomb you, and then be weird again. You know, I grew up with that shit in my family, and I stuck around, and I was patient, okay, and it made me vulnerable with people outside of my family. Okay, and I eat that shit, bro. Like, I eat that shit, bro. I'm not ashamed because I understand. I understand how it all came about, you know, and I'm being fully accountable. But shit, like, I fucking learned, bro. Like, I fucking learned. I fucking learned my lesson, bro. Once and for all. Once and for all. And so I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't. I can't do the inconsistency. I can't do the weird vibes. I don't care who it is. I love y'all. Like, I love my family. I love those people, whomever I've loved. Like, The love hasn't changed, obviously, because my love was real. Shit. But at the end of the day, I cannot do it. I'm not interested in confusion of any kind. I'm not interested. I feel like it's unnecessary to create space for doubt, to create space for fear, and to like threats to the connection, threats to the energy, threats to the environment. Like, if I detect a threat and nothing's being done about it, like, I'm expected to be the only one to do something about it, then I feel like the only reasonable thing is to remove myself, is to flee from the situation, is to treat it like the devil that it is and leave it behind me. Like, I feel like I just feel like that's what makes sense. You know what I'm saying? No matter who it is, no matter what it is, no matter what's on the table. Like, and I've learned that with work environments, all type of shit, bro. Friends. Like, why should it take for, like, I already detect some weird or off shit about the person I consider a friend, a close friend, or a best friend. Like, there's already, like, you know, like, little bumps along the way of our friendship. And it's like, I'm just overlooking it like, okay, well, nobody's perfect. Or he's just making excuses for them. Oh, he just having a bad day. Whatever. Oh, it's how they was raised. Oh, it's whatever. Like, nah, bro, no, because what I realized is that in most of these situations, none of these people gave me that grace. All this grace is that I was giving them and making excuses for them. You know what I'm saying? Using my perceptive skills and my clairaudience and claircognizance and all of that. They were not willing to extend that same grace with me. And that's just facts, bro. Like, so, nah. If I feel like there's some underhanded jealousy, I don't want to fuck with you no more. Like, you feel me? I'm not going to fuck with you the same. Like, how I am fully as a friend, as a lover, as somebody who just genuinely cares and loves for you, I'm turning that shit off. Period, bro. And that's to protect myself. That's to protect myself. And it's so crazy. Like, I'm hearing, like, the craziest, like, analogy right now, y'all. Like, so, you know how God talks about your enemies digging a grave for you to fall into, or laying snares on your path? What if we experience some situations, or we've experienced a situation where, what if we did fall into the grave, but we were expected to just stay there? But instead, we used all of our might to climb the fuck out of that shit and flee. Like, sometimes, honestly, this most recent situation that I'm recovering from, like, that's what it feels like. It feels like, damn, I did step into the snare. And somehow I was able to get that shit off my ankle. And I still have my damn foot. Like, I still have my foot. I got this big ass scar from the snare, but I still have my foot by the grace of God. Like, and I was able to get away, and it's taking a little rehab. You know what I'm saying? Like, to learn how to walk normal again from stepping into that snare. But I'm not giving up on me. I'll be willing to give up on other people before I give up on myself and give up on God. And that's just that. And of course, that's if it's obvious that they don't mind giving up on me. You know, I'm not in that energy of, like, trying to hold on and try to fight. You know what I'm saying? And have all this hope and shit. Yeah, nah. It's okay. It's almost like you just gotta take that shit to the chin, bro. Like, yeah, that shit hurt, but you're gonna heal eventually. and certain tragedies and certain accidents and certain wounds and stuff, like it's a different time frame on the healing process. Because even with rehab and stuff like that, you know, not every wound that you collect or accident that you have requires for you to like have to do rehabilitation or like rehab, right? But that's why I feel like that's what I feel like I've been like navigating through with this past or this most recent cycle of just cruelty. Like, y'all, like, when I say that I've seen how cruel and how harsh people are capable of, and people can be to somebody whom they once said that they love, who they once said they cared about, who they once, you know, projected as if they were a safe space, only to be like a fucking, what is it called? What is it called? I guess I just need to use a different example. But it's almost like seeing something on the outside and it appears like a temple. And you step into the first compartment of that temple and it seems like it's airy and cozy. It smells of incense and smells good. And you step deeper into there and then there's a fiery furnace. And the person who guided you to that fiery furnace, they just leave you there to fend for yourself, to get yourself out. And they don't even look back, don't even care if you get burned or if you die. Like, I've experienced that type of cruelty from people that once said they loved me. But I'm grateful nonetheless. And I don't regret any day of my life at all. And the reason why I'm able to say that is because of God, bro. Because of me literally getting to a point of embodying like fearlessness, like courage on a whole nother level, boldness, you know, in the name of righteousness, discipline like no other, like, but yeah, I'd rather just be where I know I'm safe, which is within myself and with God and with the angels, than to be somewhere where the foundation isn't sturdy. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I don't know if it's because I'm an earth sign. I don't know. But people will play a lot of mind games, all type of games with you in the name of wanting to defeat, conquer you, or destroy what you are because they're intimidated by what you are. You know what I'm saying? And my strong suit, my greatest bankai, you know, my katana, my sword that never gives out is God. And that's just that. And so it doesn't matter what's stripped away from me, bro. Whether I don't have a home, a support system, friends, family, a car, food, bro. As long as I have God, I'm gonna be okay. I'ma cry. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna feel like my heart being ripped out my chest, but I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be okay. I feel like I'm locked in with the end all be all in the beginning. Like, even when everything else around me goes wrong, it's like shit simultaneously will always go right if I just stay with God. That's what I've learned. That's what I've learned. I don't know what came over me today. Like, shit, I was good. Like, at the start of the day and everything. I will say, yesterday, when I got my massage, I did have an emotional release yesterday. And what's crazy about me having that emotional release from my massage yesterday is that I'm used to being the one that triggers emotional releases in my clients. You know what I'm saying? And my therapist that I go to, this is probably like his third, fourth time working on me, but I had an emotional release from a trigger point. And that's really how it shows up in your body. You'll get a trigger point in a particular area of your body. And sometimes the trigger points, the knotted, muscle fibers and myofascia and all that you get, sometimes it's trauma induced. Sometimes it's energy that we store in our body. And I had one, I actually had two here. And he was releasing a trigger point, and I felt it all down my arm and shit. And I started, like, I had an emotional release. Like, I started crying. And I can't remember if that happened to me while I was in massage school from one of my teachers when they worked on me. But since I've been doing this, like, I'm used to being that person that do that for other people. And he got that out of me yesterday. Like, it's so crazy. And I feel like, it's kind of a continual thing. Like, I'm still, like, the aftermath of that. But I'm so proud of myself. And it's like, I'm doing this shit like a fucking, a natural birth, bro. With nothing. I'm not smoking nothing. No weed. I'm not smoking no weed. I'm not codependent on nobody. Not my parents. Not a sibling. Not a friend. I'm doing this shit with just me and God. And I want to be realistic. Like, of course, there's people. I have two people that I consider friends for sure, who just being themselves. And one in particular who's a reader as well. She's helped me, like, earlier on, in the middle, to navigate through this. But behind the scenes, it's just me, It's just me and God. Honestly, I feel like if I collected every tear that I shed in my lifetime, I would have my own ocean. And when I say I'm so trilled to this shit, y'all, I'm not. There's nothing shallow about me. There's nothing surface level about me, bro. Like, for real, bro. Like, compliments, while they give you like a little instant gratification, like, that's not enough for me. Like, my appearance, you know, how people react and respond to what I look like, you know, it's not enough for me. And I've already made the connections as to why I'm like that, because the things I've experienced, you know, from a young age. So in order for me to like really feel loved and cared for, like, it has to be deeper than the skin. And I can tell the difference. I can tell the difference. I think it's so crazy. I'm just used to getting certain reactions and stuff, and it's like, I don't know if God allows it because he knows I'm a very humble, meek person. But I'm not saying that it doesn't help. Because it does. It does. You know, for somebody to say something nice to you, compliment you, whatever, it definitely does help. Any act of kindness, honestly, it doesn't have to just be a compliment on your appearance, but any kind gesture, you know, it helps. Shit, it can be somebody being thoughtful enough to hold the door. Like, I'm just this big blob of love. Like, I feel like if I didn't have a body, I would just be this bubble of love and radiant light floating around with butterflies and shit and glitter. I'm the type of person, like, I see little cute shit happening with other people and I get happy about it. I get happy with them, before them. You know, it feels like a personal experience. I get emotional. Like, these little videos and stuff that I share on my community board sometimes, like these fathers or people just having very sweet moments or fun moments, playful, childlike moments. I really like be feeling that, you know. Yeah. I just love to see love and joy, and men acting as they should, women acting as they should, children acting as they should, you know, according to God's design. I love to see it. I love it. And I'm telling you, like, God know you more than anybody else, of course, right? God knew the things that I would face, bro. I'm telling you. The things that people would do to me, God knew. Because the things that God showed me, revealed to me, had people share with me on the positive side, like just God prophesying to me, it was perfect placement. Like, throughout my perfect placement, you know what I'm saying, for me to like refer back to, you know, and know that I always got something better to look forward to. Yeah. So this cycle was extremely painful. It was supposed to be. Everybody that participated, that was the goal, for it to be extremely painful. right? But the optimism that I have through God is that, well, if I'm experiencing something extremely painful, that's because I'm, going to experience something that's extremely, like joyful, like Jubilee energy. It's so crazy. Like, my therapist, we used to work together. The first place I started working at when I got my license here in Georgia. And he's an Aries. So I remember coming back after my birthday and he had left. I was like, oh my God, like, what the hell? But he moved on to bigger and better. And I contacted him, stayed in touch with him, like, yo, like, you my therapist, like, what's going on? So, but, he's a travel therapist, so I was still able to get my massages from him. But he was only there a couple of months. And we was talking about it yesterday, how, like, for example, it was hot. We was outside, like, after the massage, he was getting ready to leave. And we were just chatting it up. And he had on all this black because he had on his work uniform. He had a hoodie and all that shit on. So he's a dude. So he took his shirt and stuff off. And I could see, like, his tattoos, like tattoos I've never seen before. All his tattoos were intentional and symbolic. Like, he had Negus, like Negus. He had the Ankh. He had the all-seeing eye. Like, he had all these intentional. He had the melanin thing. All these intentional ass tattoos. And he had the Aries Aries zodiac, like, right here. And I was just, so when we used to work together, he would always wear a turban. I always would wear a turban when I first started working too, like covering my crown, like very intentional, because I knew what I was stepping into. And so we was just talking about that, like, wow. So I'm like, so this is why you're my therapist. This is why the divine connected, because now, mind you, I had an emotional release yesterday in my massage session. So, and I was like, so this is why, for whatever reason, like, I just want to stay with you, like, as my massage therapist. And I had made a joke, because he looks like a pharaoh, literally. He looks like a reincarnated pharaoh. He just does. And I said, you look like you, you look like you just came straight out of the tomb, like, or whatever, like, okay, who do I need to, like, who need these hands, who do I need to heal? And I was like, so it's crazy how you was at, the place we was working at for just a couple of months, but I'm glad you was there when I was there, so I can connect with you, get my massages, because he's very detailed. He's a very detailed, thorough massage therapist. And he's like, he stated himself, like, like, he's introverted too, and he's conscious. And I was just thinking in that moment, like, how intentional God is, like, with the connections that do linger and stick around, where these people haven't hurt me in any way. At least not hurt me intentionally. And he's one of those people who's, like, never hurt me intentionally. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, the massages I get, it's a deep tissue. So, of course, they're painful to an extent. It's a deep tissue. But he always acknowledged me in a transparent manner, in a very loving manner. So, and I was just thinking about that, like, just how intentional God is. It don't matter. The things that happen to us that seem unexpected, chaotic, discordant, confusing, painful, and stuff like that, I just feel like that's just a lesson for us just moving forward, to don't ignore your gifts. Don't ignore your gifts. Don't ignore what God reveals to you. Don't ignore the signs. Don't ignore what these people show us when these people show us who they are. Don't ignore it. Like, be quicker, right? be with God's speed and like moving accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm finding myself like I'm still recovering, like, and it's so crazy, like, even with him, like, he was saying like there are some people who are still surprised that sometimes I was still getting emotional about this situation. And this situation happened like damn near 10 months ago. But with that being said, it's not like I'm trying to like get with no dude and like rebound him and play with nobody's heart, play with nobody's feelings. Like, I see, you know, the offers and the advances and stuff, but I really do like I'm just very intentional. And it's like I be thinking like I be trying to be conscious of how I handle people because I don't want nobody to mishandle me. So I just try to be very mindful about the seeds that I sow. It's not like I'm just intentionally being a brat, being a bitch, being conceited, or being bougie, or acting like I'm too good, like to talk to niggas or deal with niggas. It's just I'm still not where I would want to be. You get what I'm saying? To feel like it's fair for me to get with another dude. That's literally all it is. It doesn't mean that I'm not open to conversing, open to, you know, getting to know, open to vibe. I'm open to that, you know? But I'm still responsible. I'm still responsible with other people's hearts. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I want in return. Yeah. We know our culture is to get over somebody by getting under somebody else. We know that's the culture, of course. But that doesn't mean like that's the answer, you know? So I'm pretty sure there's guys who's ready to treat me how I deserve to be treated right now. But, you know, I would definitely need patience and understanding, and not, you know, the person getting upset with me because I may still cry about things that are very hurtful. And I feel like it's, even if we remove the person attached or associated to the hurt and just think about the principle of what really occurred and what really happened and how harsh I was treated in this situation, I've never experienced anything that cruel. And I've experienced people being fake, people switching up, people hurting my feelings, like, for sure, but not this cruel. Like, I just need y'all to understand, like, what I intend on doing in this lifetime and what I've already been doing and the impact that I've been making. You have to understand, like, I'm a threat within myself. You know what I'm saying? So whenever an enemy does, you know, take up the mission to battle me, you know what I'm saying? Like, the goal is to off me. That's the goal. The goal is to cease me from doing what I've been doing and what yet that I have done. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they gotta hit me like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be like powerful enough for somebody as powerful as me. So I don't want nobody to think that I'm exaggerating this shit. I'm not. Like, this shit really hurt. And it was intentionally done that way. Like, every detail about it was intentional. You get what I'm saying? But again, I had to learn from this shit too. Like, I should have been walked away. I should have been walked away from these people, okay? Who felt triggered by me just being me. Like, goddamn. Like, and I wasn't being me, like, at anybody's expense. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like if you want, the way that I operate, the way I show up in the world, I show up so that God can reward me, you know? And that's how I handle people. And so when people handle you back with evil, you know what I'm saying? Like, or just complete carelessness, bro. Every motherfuckers out here who be bitter, broken, goddamn jealous and envious of your strength, bro, of the type of love you get. Like, and they want to see you cry, they want to see you hurt, they want to see you broken, but I'm one of those energies where I can alchemize literally anything given to me. Even my hurt, even my pain, even my emotions, even my tears. Like, even with, see, I'm spitting gems. Even though I'm up here crying and I'm being vulnerable and shit like that, I'm spitting gems. Motherfuckers hate me for being like this. You get what I'm saying? Like, for them, the goal is to not just see me cry and hurt, but they want me to be like on some, oh, I want to end it all. Oh, I want to kill myself. They don't want to hear me like crying, being vulnerable, but dropping gems at the same time. Like, they want you to be crying and distraught and hurt and shit, and wanting you to be like, oh, just fuck everything. Oh. But because I'm not like that, it's like, that shit be pissing people off, bro. Like, 9 times out of 10, everybody in this fucking world of existence will experience some manner of pain. Or they will cry over something that hurts their feelings. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It's about what you do with it. It's about how you transmute the energy, how you alchemize the energy, okay? And not allowing yourself to become an energy that fuels the demonic energy, but more so an energy that fuels divinity. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. Shit, I'm even sitting here thinking, like, when I get to the point of being a mom and having children, shit, I don't want my daughters, I don't want my children to be having to, like, go through pain and stuff. So, of course, like, whatever wisdom and, you know, of course I'm going to teach them whatever I can, you know, guide them in the best way possible, you know, to understand the ins and outs of all manner of warfare. Okay, to just better arm them and protect them from bullies and, you know, all type of shit for sure. But I also have to be prepared for, you know, when things will hurt their feelings, for the simple fact because they are pure-hearted. I have to be prepared for that, you know, prepare for those conversations, prepare for the presence, you know, embodying whatever, you know, the energy of safety and security and empowerment. You know, I have to be able to empower them according to who they are individually, right? Because they are all their individual person, you know, like they have their completely unique soul makeup and dynamic from whatever. I don't know who's going to be coming through me. You get what I'm saying? Like, it could be a whole, like, baby shaman. And I have to make sure that whatever I contribute to them, it keeps them on the path predestined for them by God. I have to make sure I don't, you know, cause them to stumble. You know what I'm saying? Or provoke them away from God, even unintentionally. Like, that's a huge responsibility as a parent, okay? Especially when you have a divine child. Like, that's a huge responsibility. And it sucks on both ends. Like, when it sucks on both ends for families who did not properly navigate through their trauma or transmute their trauma, and then they end up having a gifted child, and they end up contributing some type of pain to that child unintentionally. Like, that's hard for them to, like, and these parents, like, some of them really do be loving the fuck out of their children, but so it'd be hard for them to heal from how they unintentionally, okay, cause their child like some type of pain or some shit, or like put themselves in a situation where they gotta be exiled, okay, from that child. And I don't want that when I have children. I don't want that. It's so crazy. Somebody, this place I go to get food and shit, the owner, he has said to me, because they're kind of like family, but he said to me when I was getting ready to leave, he was like, I heard the good news. And I was like, huh? And he was like, he said, like, how's everything going? Like, I heard what happened. I was like, what are you talking about? And he said, I heard, he said, I heard you about to get married. And I was like, who told you that, God? I said, who told you that, God? Oh my God, I'm a Taurus. But I'm born on the cusp of Aries. I'm an Aries Taurus cusp. But I'm a Taurus sun. But that shit was so funny. And I was like, okay, like that shit funny. But he always play like that. So, but yeah. Yeah, my birthday is on Earth Day, April 22nd. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say, y'all. Oh my God, I gotta get back to the hustle tomorrow. But yeah, that's what I want to share with you guys. So hopefully this is helpful to someone. I'm a Cancer moon. I'm a Cancer moon in Lilith. So I do have significant Cancer placements for sure. Hey, I'll run through all my signs real quick. Hold on, my phone about to die. Thank you. I already told you guys I'm born on the cusp of Aries and Taurus. I'm a Taurus sun. I'm a Cancer moon in Lilith. This is in Gemini. I'm a Libra rising in North Node. My South Node is in Aries. My Jupiter is in Capricorn. I think my Jupiter is in Capricorn, yeah. My Mercury is in Taurus. Did I skip something? Taurus Sun, Cancer Moon, Taurus Mercury, Venus in Gemini. I think my Uranus is in Aquarius. That's all I can like think off the top of my head right now. So are you a Libra South Node then? But yeah, my South Node is Aries and my North Node is in Libra. So I'm an experienced warrior, okay? I've been a warrior. It's so funny. We made a joke, me and my therapist yesterday about me being like a woman king energy. Like, cause I'm the Empress, but it's like if I gotta like you come around me like, oh, this is gonna be an easy kill, like and then before you know it, I done shanked your ass like in the side type shit. Like first of all, I already discern that you're an enemy and I'm just playing it cool type shit. And then you call yourself coming around me and then I done shanked your ass before you know it. Yeah, cut you at the root from the garden. Like, you ain't about to plant none of that bullshit over here. But yeah. Alright, y'all. My life path is 33. Yeah. I really love deep as fuck, bro. So it's literally like a robbery when somebody like trick me into really being invested in them or acting like they're invested in me, and then they just rip the rug from under my feet, bro. It's theft. And it's like whatever my spirit team do to balance the scales, like that's really out of my hands, you know? It is what it is. So I don't know if it's my Aquarius placement, my Libra placement, that Queen of Swords, but there are aspects about me that can become very cold towards evil. If I'm just being completely honest with y'all. Like, I know some people who would say that, you know, they have sympathy, like, when things backfire on people, but there are aspects about me that can be very cold when it comes to evil. Yeah. Like, if we at some point embody all the seasons, you know what I'm saying? Spring, summer, fall, winter. My winter for me is like when motherfuckers start getting their karma and shit. When them backfires be hitting, that's winter for me. Like, that's when I can come off as very cold to whatever is happening to them. Yeah. I know that sound fucked up, but I mean, that's how God made me, man. I hate evil. I absolutely hate evil. I hate evil. And I love life. I love energies that fuel life in a healthy way, you know, opposed to trying to put out somebody, like, or kill, steal, and destroy somebody. Like, I feel like if you want to become an enemy to me, that's the way to do it. For real. I've never been a fan of bullies or none of that. I don't know. It don't matter who it is, too, nor the history. Family, I don't give a fuck about the kind gestures to mask the evil. Like, nah, like, you gonna do it right or you gonna get fucked up. So, yeah. Alright, you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for listening. I'm so grateful for you guys listening. Thank you for listening and sharing your time with me, because you didn't have to do that. So, God bless you.